Hey, so today I wanted to talk about something that happened a little over a decade ago. Like I'm just recording my thought processes while I work through life, and it's just me and my thoughts. In 2011, stupidity led to me and my husband at the time, to get some of that synthetic weed. And the original plan was to wait until my son, who was 13 at the time, went to his dad's for the weekend. But someone being overexcited about it nudged me in the direction of doing it when we got it. I don't remember if I took 2 hits or 3. There was skepticism with it. But my ex-husband, I took 12 hits. And I was like, dude, you've got to give it a minute to kick in. We did this, and the plan was to go to the bedroom, lock the door, and not come out for 2, 3, 4 hours. And no one would be any the wiser. I mean, my son, he was 13. He would get home from school. He'd want to be alone. He'd go do his own thing. That didn't go as planned with his 12 hits, and he ended up very sick. He threw up. I think he had a seizure. But I know I almost felt like I was having a bad trip, and I couldn't get him to respond, and I couldn't feel anything. And my son come home. And I tried to, I don't know, seem collected. And I said, asked him to come help me with. I didn't know what was wrong with him. And he ended up calling 911. My heart rate went up. And I ended up passing out. They did CPR on me. It was a mess. We're in the hospital. Nothing came of it, seemingly, until 3 weeks later. And we got arrested. This is the dumbest shit in all my life. Never dreamed I'd be arrested. So we just spent the weekend in jail. Anyways, it was like a 3-day little excursion in jail. Unfortunately, the only bunk available was a top bunk. For those of you who've never been in jail, you don't have a ladder or anything. You've just got to figure out how to get up there. And I'm 5 foot tall, and at the time about 215 pounds. And nobody else in there was going to give me their bottom bunk. So my ass had to figure out how to get my fat ass up there. And I did. But I ended up on my stomach, and across my leg and my groin area were so bruised from the metal constantly being hit as I climbed up there. And those bruises last forever. And I couldn't sleep because at the time I was on quite a bit of medication for depression and BPD, anxiety, and for sleep. So I did not sleep that entire weekend. Listening to women cry, fart, and breathe for 3 days without my psychiatric medication. Oh my God. No, it was the dumbest, it was the dumbest experience of my life, I think, over synthetic weed. And we ended up having to, for months, call a number and see if our color we had been assigned was called. And if it was called, you had to go in and pee in a cup so they could test to make sure your pee was clean. But of course, they weren't even going to get a result on what we got arrested for. It was like, here, we're going to teach you a lesson and because it was like, was it $25 a pop? for each of us. $25. Every time we had to go pee, we had to pay $25 to pee in a cup. I mean, and if you don't know, if you've never went through it, yes, they watch you. They are all up in your stuff watching you pee in a cup. It got dropped, but to start with, until we went to court, child endangerment was part of the charges. But yeah, that got removed. I gotta figure out how to do it. Get all that expunged. Because there's like two, they're misdemeanors, but they come up every time I go get a shit job. Dumbest moment of my life. I'm not saying, because obviously I got a lot of issues and I've done a lot of things in my life, but I was really good at hiding it. I seemed like the good girl. The good girl. Very good at playing that part. And all my bad shit was hidden in the shadows. So it certainly came to light that I wasn't perfect. It was already known I wasn't perfect, but I wasn't Miss Goody Two Shoes or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Something that happened. It was an experience. I learned from it. I mean, I used to tell the story in such a way it was quite comical. Back then, the only way I could really process it was to laugh at it. It was kind of stupid. It was comical in its stupidity. It sucked. It sucked. My mother almost disowned me. My sister did for a minute. It is what it is. But what floored me was every other woman that I was in a cell with, besides one, was in there over drugs. We were all in there over some sort of drugs. And it was like, clearly, the solution is not this. The fact that just every other woman in there was in there for drugs, and I think it was a very similar scenario for the male part of the prison. It wasn't a prison, it was a jail. God. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It would be different if somehow the people that were arrested for drug charges were like given a way to deal with what the fuck they're running away from. But you're not. You're just, here's more shit in your life to make it worse, to make you want drugs even more. There was nothing trying to push you toward getting better, getting help. It was just pure punishment. Typically, people that are doing drugs have had a lifetime of punishment. Almost everyone I've known that's been a drug addict has had some sort of childhood trauma. Sexual abuse was usually involved. And everyone I know that was totally straight didn't go through that. They had a normal, happy, what seems like fairy tale life with a normal, regular, non-life-shattering problems. Because everybody has problems. I'm not saying that life growing up when you don't go through all the trauma isn't hard. It is. That's just the nature of life. But some of us had to go through hell as children, and the only way we knew how to deal with it was to escape from it by numbing it with drugs. And it's not the drugs that's the issue, it's the trauma. And we need to be taught how to release the trauma, how to let it go, how to quit replaying it in our heads. Because that's what we do. We replay it over and over and over, even if it's not intentional, or even if it's not direct. You're not directly thinking about it. You're replaying it every time you're coming across a new situation and you have certain reluctance and fear because of your past experience. It's a form of replaying the experience. We need to be taught how to let it go, to how to truly let it go. It doesn't only get stored in your mind, it gets stored in your body. Like, some things become like muscle memory. There's just got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way than just slapping some bullshit punishment on them. By the way, our bond was $50,000 a piece. It was insane. No, nobody could put that up because it had to be cash. I wish I had that kind of family. It was just absurd. It was absurd. It was like making an example out of us. I don't know. I'm going to shut up about it because now I'm just repeating things. But yeah, I don't know how this might have helped, but maybe you're going through or have gone through a similar experience. Now you can come out of it. That was 11 years ago. Doesn't really haunt me. You know, things are totally different. I'm not a little over a decade later, and a decade later I started going through this. I'm tired of running away from my demons, and I decided to face them and to quit numbing myself. So if you're currently in this type of situation, know you can come out of it, even if it takes you time. Things will get better. It sucks in the moment. It really fucking sucks in the moment. You will get through it, I promise. Just hang in there. As long as you hang in there, push through it, you'll get to the other side. So hopefully that helps. If not, maybe it's helping me. I don't know. I'm rambling shit for a reason. All right, I'm gonna quit rambling. Hope y'all are doing okay. And if you have any suggestions for another topic, put it in the comments below. And if you liked this, give it a like. If you think it'll help somebody, share it. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next video. I love you guys. Take care.